Hey, what's up everyone? In this After Effects tutorial, we are going to look at how to create a Shang-Chi ring effect. And the good thing about this tutorial is this effect is completely built in After Effects without using any third-party plugin, and it's completely 3D. Okay, there is one more thing. This is my first tutorial with my voiceover, so let me know how it is, and my communication skill is not too good, so sorry if you don't understand something, and let me know how it is so I can improve. Okay, so back to our tutorial. This is the first part of this tutorial where I am only creating the ring, and in next part I am creating a VFX with these rings. Now just take a look at what we are going to create. As I say before that this effect is completely 3D, you can rotate it anywhere, and so there is lot of thing going on there. So let's start this tutorial. So let's start by making a new project file. Now make a new composition with 1920 by 1080 size. So I am giving it a name ring. You can take whatever duration you want. I am taking 20 seconds. Now import all the texture files that I am gonna use in this project. Now I am making a new folder in project panel so that I can arrange my all the texture file. Now drag all this texture file in folder. Now first drag the gold file in the ring composition and search for motion tile effect. Now apply a motion tile effect on texture layer and increase it width. Cover the whole comp with texture. Now I am gonna mask it out with the rectangle mask selection. You can also resize it by scale, but I am gonna use mask. So now let's resize it a bit. It really doesn't matter here now, but okay. Now pre-compose this texture file, giving it a name texture, and then make a new text layer. I am using a font called Moria. It's something fantasy font. You can use whatever font you want. It's like you have to use something symbolic font that we don't understand. First type something randomly and increase its size so we can cover our gold texture. Now I am covering the space by adding some another random text. Now increase the size of our text layer so it covers our gold file. Now search for CC glass effect and apply it on texture layer. Now go to effect control and change the bump map to our text layer. Now play with some settings like softness down to something 6 to or something, and heightness. Now all you have to do is to play with some settings. It's really playing something. And now pre-compose the both layer with move all attribute. I am giving it a name base layer. This layer gonna be our base of our ring. Now search for polar coordinate effect and apply it on our base layer. Change interpolation to 100% and type to react to pose. Now we get our ring look. Now make a new null object and make it 3D. Now search for slider control effect and apply it on null object, and then duplicate the slider control. Control plus D for duplicate. I am renaming the slider control name a depth and another for angle. Now select the base layer and press P and alt click by stopwatch to give it an expression. Now type value plus square bracket 0, 0, index star, and then pick whip and parent it with slider control. Now close this expression with square bracket. Now right click on base layer and go to layer style and inner shadow. Now come back to inner shadow property and opacity down to 40 or 50 something. Okay, so I'm gonna parent it the angle with our slider control that we have made earlier before. Hold alt and click on stopwatch and then pick whip with slider control. Now we have to duplicate our base layer a multiple time. Control D to duplicate. I am duplicate it about 14 or 15 times something. Okay, so make it 3D, make all these layer 3D. Now duplicate multiple time. Control D for duplicate. Now come back to our null object and slider control of depth and increase this depth size. Now you will see the 3D effect. Now select all our base layer and parent it with the null object, so you can control with all these layer with a null object. Okay, so here I made a mistake. I give it too much depth. I have to decrease it something 4 or 5 something. I think it should be good. Now select all our base layer and then lock it. we can control all our ring with this null object. Now go back to the base layer and pre-compose our text layer one more time. Now go back to our ring comp and duplicate our base layer one more time. Now go back to our project panel and drag the text layer to base layer, and by holding Alt. By doing this, we are replacing our base layer with our text layer. Now open the effect property, inner shadow, and delete inner shadow. Now search for the Gaussian blur effect and apply it on our text layer, so we can give it little smoother texture. Now give some blur to our text layer. Now search for a glow effect and apply it on our text layer, and play with some settings so we can get the good result. And what I generally do is to duplicate the glow effect one more time to give it better glow. Now add we see color vibrance effect to give it some nice color. I am giving it a blue color. We can change it later. Now go back to our base layer and then text layer, and increase the density of our text by adding some extra text. You can also decrease some size so we can get more way cooler look. Now we see our text is too small, so go back to our text comp and increase some size, and go back to our ring and see how it look like. Okay, so now it's perfect. Now go back to our base layer and create a shape layer. Okay, now decrease the height of this layer and place it just below our texture layer. Now duplicate the class effect on our texture layer and change the bump map to our shape layer. Now you can see what we are going to create. Now we have to create a bump for upper side of this texture layer, so we have to duplicate this shape layer and place it on outer line. I think it says outer line, or we can say it upper side of our texture layer. Now go back to our ring comp and see how it looks like. So now you can see that we can create a nice bump line in outer edges, inside and outside of our ring layer. Now go to our text comp and copy our text layer in ring layer. Ctrl C for copy and Ctrl V for paste. Now let's go to our text property. First make a new mask same size as our ring. Now come back to mask and blending mode to none. And now come back to our text layer. Path choose to mask 1. Now go to animate option and enable per character 3D. So we can make all these text layer 3D. Now add one more property called rotation. Now change X rotation to 90 degree so we can get our cylindrical look. Now parent our text layer to null object and then set the position of our text so we can align it in outside our ring. Now you can adjust the size of our text layer to perfectly fit in our ring. Now come back to our text option, path and force alignment to on so we can create a circular look around our mask. Now copy all the glow and the color effect from our text comp and then paste it on our new text layer so we can get glow on it. Now we done with our ring. We are completely make our ring. Now we have to look at its lightning so it looks better. For this we have to create a new light in there is one more thing that we have to do is to go to all these text layer and material in the material property option. I think there is material option and accept light and shadow off. We have to off both. Now do the same for other text layer. Go to text, material option and switch off the shadow and light option. Now all you have to do is to duplicate our light and play with some positions of our light so we can get a better look and better lights and shadow in our ring. Looks of your ring is really depend upon the light, so make a time to adjust to give a good light. Now select all this layer, accept our light and camera and pre-compose with move all attribute. I am giving it a name main ring. Now switch off the color transformation tool of main ring and the 3D option of our main ring. so we can make it 3D again. Now make a new solid layer for our background and add a ramp effect on it, so we can give us nice gradient look. You can put whatever background you want, and then let's make a new null object to parent our ring with this null object, so we can control our ring with this null. Now I am adding a time expression to our Y rotation, so we can animate it just for show purpose how it looks like. Now we have completely done this effect. Now take a look at how it looks like. Okay, that's for today guys, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more VFX videos and the motion graphics videos. Basically I am doing all this with After Effects, so if you want to learn After Effects, please subscribe to my channel. Okay, so thank you for watching this video.